Hi guys, you're welcome to my tutorial again today. I'm Chidi, and on this tutorial I'll be teaching you how to sew this beautiful top that you can see on the screen. It's actually a 3-cup styled corset. So if this is what you'll be interested in, then come with me. I will show you every bit of the process I took to make this beautiful top. Right here I have my front pattern, the 3 cups. You can see the pattern papers, they are still intact on the top there, on the fabrics that I've already cut. I've already gone ahead to cut the linings, okay, as you can see. I've even gone ahead to stabilize it. I actually stabilized it, I mean applying interfacing and then placed back the paper, okay. That is where it is applicable. Now here is the back pattern. Here is the back pattern with the yoke, okay. You can see the modesty panel. That is what I am touching right now, the modesty panel and the back pattern, okay. I've also gone ahead to cut the lining and also applied hairstay, except for the net. The mesh, nothing is applied to it. It's actually 6 layers of mesh. You can use 8 or as you like, but what I used is 6 layers, okay, because I want it to be as blind. I don't want it to be seen through so much. All right, so here I have my front pattern and I'm going to go ahead and start coupling, starting from the cup, okay. I started from the 2 lower cups. Here I have joined them together. You can see my interfacing already applied before now, so I have joined it together. I'll go ahead and join the 3rd cup. You know that when you're doing this, you have to put notches. You watched me how I put my notches, okay. That is what will help you to join these things appropriately without getting confused, okay. I'm going to go ahead and join the 3rd part of the cup. As you can see me do, I have already joined it, and this is what we have for the 3-cup style. You can see how beautiful the cup is looking, okay. This is how you would do yours, observing your notches. Very, very important. And don't throw away your pattern pieces till you are done making the dress, so that at any point you can always refer to it. Here is the lower part of the pattern. I've already joined it together. That is for the mesh. All right, you can see I have already joined it together. I'll go ahead now and draw my boning channel. Already those dark lines will carry bone, okay. I will also apply bone. Just watch me how I'm going to draw other bone channels. All right, I'm pointing where I want my bones. Just watch closely to understand. I'm pointing where I want my bones. Now I'm going ahead to notch the middle of this mesh, because I'll be applying bone. I want to use ridgeline. I'll be applying bone to this middle. All right, okay. Then I'll go ahead and draw a curved line there on those 2 sides. I'll also close up. When I close up, I can add bone by the side. That is if I want, okay. At this point I have not decided, but I eventually did not do that. Here I'm marking 4.5 inches. I'm also marking 3 inches at that lower side, and I'm using my pattern master to connect these 2 points, okay. And this will be a bone channel. I'll be placing bone at this very point. I'll go to the other side and do the same thing. All right, I'll go to the other side and do the same thing. Here I marked 4.5 also, and I also marked 3. I used my pattern master again to connect the 2 points, giving me a slant line like that. It will also carry a bone. Watch closely. Apart from what I'm saying, watch closely to understand what I'm doing, right? I've drawn a line at that middle, and it will also carry a bone channel, a bone, yeah. So right here I'm at my machine side. Okay, I want to show you how I'll be applying this bone. Watch closely what I'm doing. I'm going ahead to stitch this ridgeline bone to the fabric. Okay, I'm stitching it to the fabric, and the ridgeline bone is facing the right side of the fabric. It's facing the right side of the fabric. Then you sew just as I did right now. Then watch the next step I'm taking. You fold it over just the way I am doing it right now. Then I will be placing this on my mesh to work on those bone channel lines that I drew on the mesh. Watch how I'm going to do this. I used like 3 different types of boning techniques in this project. Ensure that you don't cut this video at any point so that you will understand every bit of it. Okay, now I'm going ahead to stitch one side of the bone. I'm going ahead to stitch one side of the bone. Okay, beautiful. Watch how I am sewing it. Watch closely to see how I'm sewing it. I'm done with that very well. I'm going ahead to cut. Be careful not to cut your fabric. Now I'm going ahead to stitch the second side. I hope you understood how I formed this boning. Okay, how I placed it from the beginning till this point that it is attached. I'm going to use the remaining boning. I will still flip it over as I've already done, and I will stitch down that middle with the bone, following the lines that I've already drawn. That's the middle piece. Okay, I'm going to use this same method to fix all the bones. This is what I did for this particular bone on this front mesh. This is the method I used. As I said earlier, my mesh is 6 layers. You can use up to 8 layers or even more if you want, right? That is if you want the mesh not to see through, not to be transparent so much. So that's why I layered it in that manner. Beautiful. I'll go ahead and complete the rest of the boning. Here I have completed it. You can see how it is folding up, but don't worry, this can easily be formed properly with your hands. You know that ridgeline is what you can bend. Okay, so right here I'll fix. Right here, after finishing the cup, I'll be fixing it there. Okay, but before I do that, I will be applying this on it, and I'll also be caging the bust. Here I have applied the cord lace on this. It has already been draped on the bone. Okay, I'll go ahead and apply my bone on this cup. I've already sewn my lining, the bust cup of my lining. I'm going ahead to draw the bone channels for the bust caging. Okay, I'm drawing those lines 3/4 inches from the edge. Note that those lines round the cup is about 3/4 inches from the edge. This is so that your seam will not touch the boning. I've also gone ahead to draw all my bone channels. Do well to watch the tutorial or my post, the video before this very one. There I treated this boning, this bust caging, and the modesty panel in detail. Okay, just in case you don't understand this one so well, I had to do a different video to make this video shorter. All right, that is the video before this very one. I'm going to put the link in the description box so that you can easily access it, just in case you need it. So right here I'm applying my ridgeline bone. Okay, about, I think this ridgeline bone is 1/2 inch ridgeline bone. Yes, 1/2 inch ridgeline, or a little less than half. That's what I'm applying round the cup. Okay, that is what I'm applying around this cup. See what I'm doing? I'm cutting it off there. and I'm going ahead to complete it. Note that I only sew one side of this bone, okay? The other part is open. Watch closely to see. Yes, there is open, okay? This is for proper caging, so that the bones that will be inside it will flow inside, will be inserted inside this, space, and it will make the cup to form properly. All right, beautiful. So I am also going ahead to stitch this one the same way. Then for the rest of the marks, I will be using my bone also to work on all of them. Follow the curved line. Ensure to watch the bust caging tutorial so that you understand very well how I marked those lines, how curved they are, and how you must follow it to get the best cup shape. All right, so here I have finished my bust caging. I finished caging the bust, and note that this thing is done on the lining, not on the main fabric. It's done on the lining, and before I did this caging, I've already stabilized. I applied interfacing, that is cloth gum, to this. I've gone ahead here I am trying to flesh the cup. Every detail of this fleshing is also in the last video, okay? I used hairstay to flesh it. About 6 piles of hairstay is what I overlaid on that cup to flesh it, okay? So after fleshing it, the next thing to do will be to turn it with the main fabric. Here I'm trying to see how the fleshed cup is looking after being applied on the fabric, okay? Now see the bone that I applied at that point to keep that place strong before I apply my cups. Note that. And I've gone ahead to apply my cups. See how beautiful they are looking. Very lovely, very fine. Don't bother about the about the mesh folding up. That will be taken care of. You will see how I took care of it. Just keep watching. Right here you can see my yoke, the back and the front yoke. I've already joined the two together. All right, I've already joined the two together. Watch closely. I've stitched there. Instead of 1/2 inch, I used about 1 inch to stitch the shoulder. This is because of I've gone ahead to turn it with bias. All the places that I should turn with bias, I've turned it. Note that shoulder line that I turned with 1 inch instead of 1/2 inch. This is because of the mesh that is a bit stretchy to control any sagging that may be on that shoulder to distort the pattern. So right here I am going ahead to do my button loops. Okay, I'm trying to do my button loop. I'm trying to measure the length of this fabric, and it's the same length of that fabric that I brought out. I'm using cord. You can see the excess length of the cord coming out. That excess length is exactly the length of this fabric that I am using to form the button loop. Okay, this is to make the button loop strong. It's very strong. Okay, so I'm going ahead to trim it to about 1/8 inch. Now I'll be dragging this thing in. Watch how I am stitching there. This is so that the cord will not pull out, as I'm going to pull this cord that came out there. I'm going to make it to go inside of this casing that I just formed, a sort of casing. Okay, you can see it. I've pulled it in. The cord is now inside this channel that I formed. Okay, this will make the button loops to be quite strong and structured. If you like, you can omit that part, but I like doing it because it makes the loop look very strong, structured, and professional. Now I'm going ahead to form my loops. I'm going ahead to form my button loops. Watch how I'm doing it. The size of this loop strictly depends on how big your button is. This strictly depends on how big your button is. Sorry for the noise. I don't know if it's entering the video. It's actually just started raining. So right here I'm forming the loops. I'm putting my thread in place because it cuts at some point. So just go ahead, form the loops based on the size of your button. My buttons are not so big, so that's why I'm using this size of loop. Beautiful. So I'll go ahead and form all the loops that I need to form at that spot. I'll go ahead and form all the loops and I'll be turning it with bias. Just watch and you will understand every bit of what I am doing. After forming the loops, I'll go ahead and turn with bias. Now see the bias I'm using the stretchy net. Okay, I'm using this net, the stretchy part of the net. Please ensure to use net that stretches one side. Okay, you know some nets are so stretchy. Okay, and put that stretchy part in width wise. Okay, like the width, like circumference, put it on the circumference line of your pattern. Okay, not lengthwise. Okay, when you are cutting, I hope you understand what I mean. So it's the net that I'm using to turn this place, but I'm using the stretchy part. That's where I cut my strip from to use and turn all these edges, including the button loops, because it just works like bias. Okay, so I'm going ahead to join my back pattern just as you can see me place it. I'll go ahead and join it. Here I have applied my invisible bone steel ridgeline on one part of the back. I'll go ahead now and show you how this is done. I told you that I used several boning techniques on this very project. This very one is one of them. This one is invisible boning technique. Now I'll show you how it is done. Right here I'm on my machine and I'm about to show you how to do invisible boning. Now I took my ridgeline. I'm going to measure the length of where I want it to be, avoiding seam allowances. Okay, both up and down. Ensure that you avoid the seam. Watch me. So I'm going ahead to cut it. Watch how I'm going to fix this to this pattern, the back pattern. Now I place the bone like this, avoiding the seam allowance, and I'm going to stitch it within the allowance that is used to join that back dart. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I hope you understand too. Okay, so after stitching this side, you're going to turn it over. All right, you're going to turn it over and stitch the other side, ensuring that it's lying flat, that there is no rumpled or like pleated spots. Ensure that everything is lying flat and smooth. Now I'm done with this. You can see how it's folding up. That's not a problem. I will go ahead and iron and everything will be lying flat. Okay, for the net, don't bother ironing. You'll be using your hand to put the net boning in place. You will see that how I did it as we go on with the video. Now here, what I'm doing about to take care of is the modesty panel. I've fixed my bone. Here I used another technique, boning encasing, to do this modesty panel. I've gone ahead to finish it up. Is in my previous video. I'll be linking it in the description box so that you can go and watch how I did this very boning. I've covered it with the cord lace, okay, and I've attached it to the lining part of the back pattern. You can see how I attached it. Okay, this is how you will attach yours. I'm putting it in place so that you see how it will be. Don't bother that is not long enough. That side, a skirt will be joined to that side, and all those places will be covered by the net. Okay, will be covered by the skirt rather. Beautiful. So this is how it's going to lay by the time it is worn. Watch closely to see everything I did. I know you will understand. All right, now I've gone ahead to join the lining to the fabric. I've joined that side, and I decided to leave this side to use it and explain to you what I did. I stitched that up and top stitched, then I went ahead to stitch the armhole. I hope you understand. I've also gone ahead to stitch the sides. See how open it is now. I'm going to use the back lining to turn the front mesh, as you can see me do. I've also turned the underbust with a bias. Okay, I used my net mesh, my mesh, to turn it as a bias. I've gone ahead to close up that inside. I'll go ahead to also close the loop side. Beautiful. You can see the stitch that is there. I'll be passing my boning along that stitch. Okay, I've passed the other side, but I want to use this side and show you what I did. This project is almost coming to an end. Okay, right now I will be applying my masking tape to the tip of this ridgeline bone so that it can pass smoothly through the channels that I sew, that I stitched on the fabric. Okay, that I stitched on the top. You can see me passing it. You know, with the help of this masking tape, is going to pass smoothly through the channel. You sew the channel in a way that it will be snuggy. It's not supposed to be loose, and it's not supposed to be too tight, right? So that you can pass it easily too. So I made the boning. I've already inserted the boning. Okay, I will go ahead and finish that lower side. I've gone ahead to also use my hand and form this bone on the mesh. You can see that it's lying flat now. I just used my hand to straighten it in place. Ridgeline is good at, you know, it is flexible, is what you can bend. Now I'm going ahead to use bias to turn the lower side of this top. I'm just showing you. I've stitched one side of the bias. Okay, I folded in that beginning part before I stitched the first part, so I'm going ahead to stitch the second part. I hope you understand what I mean. So I've finished this project here. See how beautiful our top is looking. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give it a like, comment, let me know what you think about this. And if there is anything you would like me to treat in further tutorials, you can still give your suggestions in the comment section. Don't fail to subscribe and also turn on your notification bell so that you will be the first to know when I post. I'll go ahead after now and put my eyelet holes and also put the rings there, the garments that will be used to lace it. Okay, I've not done it yet here. I'll go ahead and do that, and that will be the end of it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.